I just checked. Damn it, Philip. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of V-Time, episode 158. Alex, eyes over here. Eyes over here, dude. I set a camera. There we go. Focus. Anyway, we got a very short episode, honestly. We only got leaks. There's not much news going on other than just announcing one thing and one thing only because it's, upcoming, but that's about it. But we got some really cool leaks to look at.
Yeah.
And a whole new ride line.
A whole new ride line.
But before that, if you're interested in buying any cars from TCG Player, please use our affiliate link down below.
Your purchases through this link help support the channel, so you can create more great videos like this straight to you guys.
And with that scripted part of the way, Bavsargra gave us a Christmas present, or gave me a Christmas present, technically. Mm-hmm. They decided to fucking drop on January 1st Genesis Dragon Amnesty Messiah for the Messiah Stride Deck set.
They said, look at this, new year, let's make a new meta.
I know, right? And it's fucking beautiful, effect-wise. The art could be better in all honesty.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad either.
Exactly. Anyway, Messiah Amnesty is back. This is basically your Fate Rider for Messiah. And it's got some very interesting abilities. Of course, it's got the full stride ability. This one is just choose one or more cards with the sum of their grades, grade 3 or greater, from hand and discard them. It's not like Chronojet next stage where you have to discard Chronojet specifically. But it has the other ability that's very reminiscent, but also kind of not reminiscent from original Amnesty, and that is Auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks, counterblast one and turn a card from your G zone face up. Choose any number of yours and your opponent's lock cards and unlock them. Choose one of your rear guards and it gets 5k until the end of turn for each card unlocked with this ability. They are not very creative when it comes to just copying Chronojet Stride Deck set.
No, they're not. It's honestly, I'll say this. This is going to be strong. Or a simple fact of depending on how much you can lock yourself, this is going to be more multi-attack than Jet.
If this is pure Messiah, the way it's always been, the way it always will be, this is 5 attack already. Because the cards will self-lock themselves. Which means you are guaranteed 5 attacks, and one of them is going to gain an extra 5k. Actually, no, it's actually going to gain more. Probably 10k because you unlock 2 front row, if not more units.
Yes. And then, depending on, and it gets another 5k equal to the number of unlocks you had. Yep.
And then another 5k to the front row because there's a face-up card in G-Zone and the crest is active.
Yeah, so it's going to get a lot. It's going to get swole.
On top of that, if the self-lockers can lock themselves again and you end your turn, you basically say, look at my soul. I soul blast this much, I draw this much.
Yeah.
Because it's original Amnesty. It's the original boy.
Doing all the things. But no, like so far, everything from this Messiah deck has been pretty cookie cutter in terms of the Jet Stride set. So I'm just waiting for the Stride fodder to be in here. What was it, Destiny Dealer?
Yeah.
Waiting for it to say, search your deck for Amnesty Messiah and add it to your hand.
Dude, if we get a card that says Soul Blast one, it's a 15k shield. What are they doing? But I am happy that Messiah's back. Amnesty, it's missing its crit from its original, but the original never did flip a card, so that's kind of a bonus.
Yes.
And premium wise, it's alright. Like, you got better strides in premium than this, in all honesty. But it's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, with my hype out of the way, we're still waiting for the ride line effects and other cards, so Amnesty is a little bit far away from testing because we really can't. But we did get some other stuff from set 9, and we're starting to see some weird commons that actually have no place and can just be put in any deck if you want to play it that way. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Got Divine Sister.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. It's a grade 3. It's a grade 3 with Continuous rearguard during your turn. All of your Divine Sisters Castella and all of your Divine Sister
Spumone.
On rearguard get power +5.
So it just bumps up everything else but itself.
Yeah.
All right. So what do the other 2 Divine Sisters do?
Divine Sister Castella is a grade 2, 9k base. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, you can use Soul Blast to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and choose up to 1 Divine Sister
Spumone.
And from among them, call to rearguard in the same column as this unit and shuffle your deck.
You can technically pronounce it Spoon as well if you want, but I like Spoon more.
All right.
But basically calls the grade 1.
Yes. Well, we don't know it's a grade 1, but it's a spoiler alert. It's a grade 1. 7k base auto rear card. When this unit is boost a Divine Sister Castella, draw a card, choose a card from your hand, put it to the bottom of your deck, and it gets power +2 until the end of turn.
Couldn't have just been an easy plus. Why did I have to put the bottom? Granted, you can put back triggers, but still.
Because these are commons for a reason. If it plussed, it had to go higher.
You're not wrong. Well, on the bright side, look at it this way. The column of grade 2 and 1 on their own is 18. With the grade 3 on the board, they're 28. If you put more grade 3s, because I don't think it's restricted, it is not. It's basically for every grade 3 on the board, that column's getting 10k bigger. So you have something here. I just don't know how good this something is.
I will say this, that the fact that without the grade 3, the column is an 18 means it's the same as if you put a generic grade 1 and a generic grade 2 in the column.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know if it really will gain traction to do anything, but
I hate to say it like this, but it feels like they're just putting in pads. Like they gave the proper support to decks in double rares and triple rares, and then looked at commons and rares going, what the fuck did we put here? And it's like, just pad it with something. Put something in.
I know what they could put here. It'd be great, to reprint stuff as common and just throw on the spot. Good reprints.
You're not wrong. Reprint common rares would not be a bad idea at all, actually. That's actually a smart idea. That's actually a really good idea.
Just be like, here's all your new stuff. And then if you want a common of this card, but you couldn't get the other version of it, like say an Inlet Pulse or a Brandt Swirler, then this would be a common slot there.
Anyway, we're going to move on to some new stuff, especially in the Tuesday stream. So the Tuesday stream showed us some goodies for, I honestly forgot. What did we see in the Tuesday stream? Youth.
Yes.
But they not only youth, we also saw a new type of Heal Guardian, which all nations get, and this time in a form of a rare. So we're going to only look at one of them because all of them have the same effects. And this one is for Dragon Empire, Stealth Fiend Temarihime. Again, it's a 4k base rare heal trigger, but this time around it only has 10k shield and the type of effect like auto. When this unit is put on Guardian Circle, if your Vanguard's grade is less than your opponent's Vanguard's grade, this unit gets shield 10k until the end of that battle. So it's a 20k shield when your opponent's a higher grade than you.
Did you say Stealth Fiend?
But sir, you can only grab normal unit Stealth Fiends. I don't know what you're drooling about.
I mean, Forktail can technically do it.
Yeah. But 20k shield for when your opponent's higher the grade than you. This basically means all the trial decks that got their grade 4s and the stride deck sets. And that's it.
I will say that this is good against decks that the other ones were bad at. For instance, if you go against a Magnolia player, the restand or the crit never really mattered because it didn't get any of those. So at least this one's better there.
Yeah, but then you go against Bruce, and depending on what kind of Bruce they're playing, both of them could apply.
Yes.
And then you go against Nirvana, and one of them definitely applies because they have a grade 4 restander.
I mean, my mindset with these is the same as with the other ones. Of you look at your meta and you put these in depending on what your meta is.
So with Chrono Jet and Messiah soon going to be running rampant, you're going to be running nothing but this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
They do also work while you're going up in ride line. Like if your opponent
Yes.
win first, they do work. So some early extra shield is not bad.
Yeah.
Especially when your opponent has black magic and they decide to go, yeah, I'm going to crit every time.
Or if your opponent decides they're going to play a Roa deck and rush you, because you have the shield for it.
Exactly. So these are very nice additions. They need to be practiced a little bit to see exactly how good they are. But we now need to look at the Tuesday streams Youthberg stuff. And just like Luard, Youthberg decided to turn into a dragon. Ain't that right?
That was what I would say if that was what happened.
Yeah, I know, right? Ain't it great?
Oh my god, this is like the biggest middle finger to me ever. I was so diving into this card. I was pixel peeping into the art where I was like, all right, this could work. This is this. This is probably a Youthberg dragon form. This just seems a bit early, but this is a Youthberg dragon form. This is not a Youthberg dragon form.
So what is it?
It is a common grade 3 destruction dragon. Dire Roar dragon. Auto, when this unit is discarded from your hand during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Youthberg in this card name, you can counterblast one to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it to the bottom of your deck. Hold on. Where's my glasses? Clean my glasses. Jet, is that you?
Eric called. He wants his joke back.
No, it's okay. I mean, if you need a former retire in the deck and you don't want to gamble on Gust or Tempest, this is a better safe Tempest. Or
Dude,
you
I
can
got
do
a
both.
bottom def Youthberg build waiting to put this in.
I mean, or even better is you can run this with Tempest and just bot deck a lot of stuff.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, I see its uses, but Youthberg is such a deck with tight space that I doubt you're ever going to run it.
Yeah. But, at least we didn't get a dragon form or Volt form.
Yet.
The only other thing I want to mention about this card is basically quadruple D. Destruction Dragon, Dire Dragon.
Yep.
Anyway, let's actually talk about the good Youthberg support in the double rares and triple rares.
Yes, so we got a new grade 1 double rare. Knight of Vanquish Bow Swift.
Svilt.
It is a 5k base. Auto, back row rear guard, center rear guard. When your Vanguard is placed on Vanguard by the Revolt Dress ability, stay in this unit and it gets power plus 10.
Boo, that's bullshit.
So it's a 5k booster that turns into a 15k booster on your Revolt form.
I am so sorry, but that is a bit bullshit. It's way too free for what it does.
It is. It's basically the same thing the Overlord had back in V, where they had the grade 1 that restood, or if your Vanguard restood.
Mm-hmm.
But
the grade one didn't gain power.
It didn't gain power. This one does gain power.
Jesus. And if you want to give me an argument that 5k base is the acceptable exchange, no, it's not when it gains 10k.
No. And on top of that, it's even if you're boosting for 5k, the first attack's 18 on the minimum?
Yeah, so you need at least a front trigger to make it to the pass. The normal trigger is not working anymore.
And then on top of that, on a restand, it's going to become a 15 plus 13, 28k column on its own without any other ability.
Yeah, which every other ability gives it even more power.
Yeah.
This is an amazing card, don't get me wrong, but it was really, really poorly designed to be way too free.
Oh, you want to hear poorly designed? So this is not once per turn. If some magical way we get a way to Revolt Dress on a Revolt Dress, it can multiple restand and get more power.
Yeah, let's not go in that territory, please.
Well, the reason I say that is because the other ability kind of hints that we might have that happen down the road too.
Just free the triple rare.
It's Knight of Plowing Dulbrag. It's a grade 2 auto front row rear guard. When your Vanguard is placed by the Revolt Dress ability, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets power plus 5 until the end of turn. And then auto rear guard. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, cost Soul Blast one card with Revolt form in its card name. And it gets power plus 10 until the end of battle.
I don't get something about Youthberg. What's the deal with powering up the Vanguard so much? The Revolt dress abilities do it by themselves already. Why do you need to power it even more?
Because this is a very Vanguard-centered deck. It's all about Revolt form. It's basically D-Police inside of Getter Sanctuary.
Like this deck, the Youthberg has never made sense to me. I get the restanding Vanguard, but why are you powering up so much? Not even Overlord powers itself up so much, and its whole shtick is a restanding Vanguard. Greedon can barely power itself up that much, and it's a restanding Vanguard gimmick.
This card's pretty good though. I don't know if you'll run 4 of. I think 3 of is a good number because it does what Schneisel you want Schneisel to do, which is power the Vanguard without sacrificing your attack patterns. So now you can go Vanguard, Vanguard, Rearguard. Before, if you had Schneisel, you kind of had this swing with Schneisel first to make the full benefit out of it. So you kind of sacrificed an attack pattern.
On top of that, now your turn 4 is actually even more better.
Yes, because usually your rear guards weren't hitting right at the magic numbers. Now this one hits you right over it. So I think
with the amount of deck thinning and drive checks you get, I don't think you needed more power in the rear guards.
But we got it. Also, for those that are wondering, yeah, you're probably only going to get one of these off at a time because there's no way to get an extra more than one Revolt form unless you sacrifice a turn without activating this ability.
Technically there is, but that means completely changing the deck list into running Drilling Angel now in the deck.
Or like I said before, if we magically get a way to Revolt form onto a Revolt form, there's technically a way to do it.
Let's not and never say we did. Anyway,
yeah, overall they had some solid support.
We're gonna move on from the stupid bullshit that's got even more stupid bullshit. And we're gonna look at some more commons that have no sense at all.
Yes.
This time it's for Stoicheia.
You got a grade 3 blurry X burly X beetle. Continuous rear guard. During your turn, if you have a bulky Saul stag and is on your rear guard, it's gonna get power plus 10.
So what is a bulky Saw stag?
It's another grade 3 common that says continuous if you have during your turn. If you have a burly axe beetle on your rear guard, it gets power plus 10. So basically, there are 13k rear guards that turn into 23s if they're both on the rear guard.
See what I mean about commons that makes no sense?
Hey, Wishy, you know it'd be great right here? Reprints of commons.
Like, don't get me wrong. These two, if you can get them both on the board, having two 23k attackers is honestly not bad. If we think about the new Rattling we're going to cover here in a bit, that's your first attack and then another bigger attack. The numbers are not bad. It's just getting them on the board consistently. Not a lot of decks can do it without sacrificing what they want to do.
I will say that Stoicheia has a better way of getting these on the board than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
For the simple fact that they have access to multiple ways of grave recursion and a million their drop.
You know what? Now that you point that out, I love how Stoicheia, that is probably one of the easiest decks to get specific units, especially from drop on the board. Got two cards that need a combo, and then you go to Keter, which is the hardest probably one to get specific units on the board, and it got a grade 3, a grade 2, and a grade 1 combo.
Hey man, at least the grade 2 searches out the grade 1.
You still need the grade 3 and grade 2.
You need Soul Blast for that grade that search to work. So.
Makes no sense. But we're going to move on to stuff that actually does make sense. And that is Sealed Blaze Dragon Anguam. It is a grade 3 common for, of course, Bavsargra. It's a fucking Sealed Blaze Dragon. And it does actually help the deck in what it wants to do right now, but I don't think people are going to run it because its continuous ability is Drop Zone. If you have a Vanguard Bavsargra in its card name, Bavsargra. I know we've been always saying it wrong, but I don't care. The what now?
I think it's... I'm not going to pronounce it. Anyways,
in its card name, this card is regarded as a grade 1. Basically, it's a grade 1 in your drop, so you can call a grade 3 onto the board if you want to. Technically, it's not a bad ability, but you got better targets. A lot better targets.
You know, the double rare from last set is a grade 1 that turns into a 13k and does more effects on top of it.
Yeah. So, but it's still a support if you want to build a Bavsargra deck with budget. Speaking of something that's probably not budget, a whole new ride line.
Yes, with a whole familiar gimmick, but in a different way.
So do you want to cover all 7 cards, or you want to go back and forth?
Oh, we'll go back and forth.
Cool, then I'll start. We're going to start off with Kind-Hearted Prince Grandfia. Grandfia. There we go.
Grandfia, yeah.
This is the new ride line. This is the new mascot for this new ride line. And it's, of course, it's the starter things. But this starter, like a Pokemon, evolves.
Yes. To Lord of the Future Grandfia. And its effect is when this unit is rode upon by a Genesis Wise Wolf Grandfia, you can call it the one plant.
Good sir. Genius.
Genius? Oh. Reading's hard. Anyways, call up the one plant token to your back row center rear guard.
Jesus Christ. Genesis of the Future. That is a cool name. I'll give you that.
Anyways, wow, that looks very familiar. Like we've seen this before.
I know, right? Anyway, Genius Wise Wolf Grandfia. It should have been named Hollow for people that know the joke, but its ability for the grade 2 ride line is Continuous Vanguard. If a plant token is on your rear guard, if your soul has a Lord of the Future Grandfia, which is the grade 1, when you would ride a grade 3 card with Grandfia in its card name from a ride deck, you can ride without discarding a card from your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So free rides.
It's good.
If you keep the plant token.
Yes, it's if you keep the plant token.
It's like Blast the Dark say, yeah, no, you don't.
You're right. And also, if you're going second, you're against a Gravidia player, this is never going to happen.
Nope.
So, it is
like
what
you can call
is.
all the stuff to make more plant tokens on the board. Against certain decks, you're never getting this ability off.
Exactly. So, it's a good plus, but a hard minus at the same time.
I will say I was never a fan of effects. Like we see in a lot of this specific effect in Lyrical, especially with Friends and Powerful. I was never a fan of you don't have to discard. Because sometimes you just have a jank hand and you want to filter because the ride line pluses you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I may feel on that. But that's where hopefully the grade 3 makes a comeback.
Yes. So we got Lavian. Right? Livian, Lord Grandfia. Act Vanguard. Once per turn, you can Soul Blast one and turn all of your plant tokens on your rear guard into plant gauge. Call a Noblest Rose token into your back row center rear guard and put all of your plant gauges onto that unit. Then auto Vanguard at the end of the battle that this unit attacked. Cost put one or more Noblest Rose tokens or plant gauge in total of 5 into your drop to choose one of your rear guards, and it gets power +5 until the end of turn for each card put into the drop for the cost. And if you put 3 or more cards, you can stand that unit.
Now, did I hear 4 attacks?
That is 4 attacks.
Hand and pulse. Where you at, boy?
Yeah, time for another deck to abuse a staple.
But other than that, hello gauges? We're getting gauges in standard now?
This is the first deck to do the gauges. I think it's funny. Bushy Road's over here like, we're going to bring Stride in the standard. We're going to bring markers in the standard. We're going to bring gauge in the standard. We're going to bring tokens in the standard. Is there anything that we've missed in V or G that, you know, is some like newish like mechanic thing that we haven't brought back yet?
We did divine gauges. We've technically Tachi gauges and divine gauges technically.
Yeah. So gauges.
We did markers, either force markers, excel markers, or even treasure markers from 7 Seas if you want to count them like that.
Yeah.
We've done strides like you said.
Yeah. We've
technically have limit break in some cards. We technically have break ride, I think, in like Youthberg's technically a break ride, isn't he?
Kinda.
The only thing I'm honestly missing is G guards.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
Because he also brought lock.
Yeah.
So
we brought back bind.
I think G guards is the only mechanic. You know the weird part is all of this other than the plant tokens. All of this has happened within like one set.
It's a couple of sets, you mean? Because
it's a couple of sets. Yeah, within like two sets, it's like it all dropped at once.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I need to see what the robot ride line does, good sir.
Yes. But overall, yes, we have gauges back.
You know what we didn't get back yet?
What?
A Legion.
Oh, dear God. Anyways, we got a brand new plant token, and we got gauges that go onto that plant token, and we have our card that now abuses this plant token.
Yes.
So Phil,
and we're gonna read the plant token here in a sec, but hold up, I just had a thought. Isn't technically Bavsargra a Legion?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right.
All right. But for real this time though, we do have the Noblest Rose token.
It's a Noblesse or Noblesse?
Noblesse, I guess.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, man. English is harder, right? It's a grade 0 5k token, but it has a lot of text.
A lot of text.
Correct. So, as any token, you can't put this in your deck. Cannot. But it has a couple abilities. Actually, it has one ability with a couple conditions. Continuous Rearguard. This unit cannot be moved to other circles, and if you have a Vanguard with Grandfia in its card name, all of the following are active. When your plant token will be placed on Rearguard, put it on as a plant gauge of this unit instead. This effect is mandatory. This unit gets power 5k for each of its gauges. And then when you would retire a Rearguard for a cost, if this may be paid by retiring a plant token Rearguard, you may pay it by discarding a plant gauge as well. So the wording there is a little bit strange. The last one, I want to read it one more time just to get my head around it. So if this may be paid by retiring a plant token Rearguard, you may pay it by discarding. So it's strange how it's worded. I don't think it's necessarily meaning the fact that if the cost or anything is retiring plant tokens, you can retire gauges. I think it's saying that if you could retire a plant token, instead of retiring anything, remove gauges, right?
I think it's if you were going to retire, say I have Tearful Malice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to retire 2 Rearguards to countercharge and put that card in Soul Draw. Mm-hmm. If I was going to retire plant tokens, I can remove 2 gauges off of this instead.
Correct.
That is the way that it's technically worded.
Yeah. So certain cards that retire other stuff can work with this, but you don't have plant tokens on board. You have just gauges. So any effect that says, hey, the number of plant tokens on your board or stuff like that does not work. So it's a very interesting card that needs its specific support stuff.
Also, your Vanguard is going to be a very chunky boy whenever you swing with boost with this.
Oh yeah, because with the Vanguard's ability of removing 5 to restand something, and it's an end of battle ability, if you are successful,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, if you successfully remove 5, the max number, that means you had a minimum of 5. If you had a minimum of 5, this thing is a 30k booster to a 43 Vanguard.
Yeah. And then Persona Ride 53.
Correct. And then whatever Resta gained 25.
Yes.
So this looks very interesting.
And the cool thing is, this is very similar to Rorwa, where you kind of abuse tokens and power up a 1 unit, and you abuse this 1 unit, and that unit happened to be a token that. But the irony of it is instead of you having to dig for a card to make that token, your Vanguard just makes that token for you. So you just need your Vanguard and then ways to make plant tokens. Whereas Rorwa, you kind of had to a Vanguard that made plant tokens, but had to go out of your way to get the card them abuse.
Hey man, you got an order to help you. I don't want to hear it.
We had to wait on that order, man, so long.
And unfortunately, that order does not work here because you need a Rorwa Vanguard. But any card that can just make a plant token works here. You got a Counterblast 2, make a Counterblast 1, make 2 plant tokens. You got a on place, make plant tokens. You even actually have a grade 2 promo that says at the end of the turn, you can retire it to make 2 plant tokens.
We also had an order we just talked about, I think last video, that is Counterblast 1, make 2 plant tokens.
Correct. So making plant tokens is the easy part. Having a threatening unit to swing with a second time is the hard part. Because the next 2 cards are not really, really good support cards, but are not really threatening units.
Yes. You got Horo Mushroom. I think that's how you say that. Auto rear guard.
Act.
Sorry, act. Why say auto? Anyways, this is a grade 1, by the way. 6K base rare. Act rear guard cost. Put this unit into your soul to call up to 2 plant tokens to rear guard. And if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Grandfia in its card name, you can choose one of your rear guards, and it gets power +5 until the end of time.
Holy shit! I just realized something.
Hmm?
This is a really good card for Grandfia. You make 2 gauges, and you can power up something like the rear guard. You're gonna swing twice with.
Yes.
I just realized this card's technically a lot better in Roa.
Yeah, it gives you soul, and it gives you 2 plant tokens.
This thing is amazing in Roa.
Yeah, like I was saying before, it's like I heard we were getting plant token support. I'm like, oh wow. Depending on how generic the support is, this is really going to be really good also Roa support cards.
You would love the extra 5k power to the Momoke token, but you'll take a soul and 2 plant tokens.
Yeah, those 2 plant tokens turn into 10k to that Momoke token.
And the 2 plant tokens, Grandfia, also turn into 10k to whatever unit you choose.
Exactly.
So all this deck's working, but that's only the rare. We actually have a double rare for this deck called in Ran Orange Rain.
Orange Rain.
God damn this name. And also, if Outer Orange doesn't main this deck, I will be very disappointed.
So much oranges in this deck.
I know, right? Anyway, this has 2 abilities. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, you may call a plant token to rearguard, or technically make a plant token gauge, depending on when you do it. Technically both. And then auto, front row rearguard. At the beginning of your battle phase, if you have a Vanguard Grandfia in its card name, you may call 1 plant token to rearguard. So basically this card on place and at the beginning of battle phase just generates 2 tokens overall.
Yes. So you'll get 2 gauges out of this card, probably more than likely.
So you either put 2 of this card on the board, you're basically at 5 if your rearguard survived in the ride line, or you put down this card in one of the mushrooms, make this card a 15, and you're still at 5 of plant token gauges. So you got ways to get there very easily.
Pretty much.
So this deck is very self-sufficient, I'm seeing.
Yes. Just make sure that you have seeing cards to make a threat.
Yeah, I was about to say, the only thing this deck is actually missing, like it's cool, it's got 4 attacks, but there's no real threat anywhere.
I mean, you got a really big restand on it that has a lot of power, but that's about it.
Yeah. And the Vanguard's technically a big number, depending on how well you gauged.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see in practice, because yes, we will be testing this. Anyway, last card of the leaks. We have the double rare generic card for Brandt Gate. So recently we've been seeing these generic cards pop with the Dragon Tree triple rares, but this time it's on its own, which means my theory that the last 2 triple rares for Dragon Tree and the big boss unit are going to leak altogether is getting very close to fruition. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. What does this card do?
Ah, yes. It's a grade 3 13k double rare for Brandt Gate. Erfelin Vogel. I want to say that's the name. Jesus Christ.
We're getting more and more of these German name Brandt Gate cards. We're getting closer and closer to Blau as we speak.
I will say there's a better card than this, but I like this card too. Auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. Search your deck or drop for up to 1 grade 3 set order, reveal it, and put it into your hand. And if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. Then it also has auto rearguard once per turn. When a set order is put into your order zone, this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. Why does that be once per turn on the second one? Man. Honestly, it's not a bad card. Like, you get a grade 3 set order either from deck or drop. If you look at all the cards that we have out, all the Brandt Gate decks technically, Eva can very much benefit this for its new grade 3 set order that's fucking stupid and amazing. Let's see here. Arkwright can't benefit from this. It only has grade 1 set orders, so you can't play this in Arkwright. Plus, it's not a monster, so you don't want to play this in Arkwright. You can throw this in Orphis to get your grade 3 set orders, either the one that bumps up tokens or the one that retires stuff. You can't play this in Eva because you don't have any grade 3 orders and you only played the 1 prison.
And then, pretty sure this is meant for the new ride line, so it's probably going to be a grade 3 set order.
I'm hoping. I'm also missing one more, couple more ride lines. Hold up. Orphist, Snow, Gravidia. Gravidia has no grade 3 set order, so this is not good in Gravidia. Heroes have only the grade 2 base, so this is not good in Heroes.
Snow only has his prison, which is a grade 1, so no.
This could be ran in Velstra, but you're only adding your grade 3 fortress that you can't play from hand, and if you already have a card that basically does this but better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the new ride line is the only one that really can bet. There's also one more, technically. The promo deck.
Oh, yes, the promo deck.
Yeah, but again, the only grade 3s are the only actual good grade 3s you would want in your hand are the world cards because, you know, everything else is not actually working. So I'm hoping the new ride line is going to be something this thing can utilize.
Also, the fact that it says from drop means that the new ride line can also have a possibility that it uses the order as a fuel, as a resource to put it itself in the drop to do something.
This is the only reason that this Vogel can be in Velstra, honestly, just because sometimes you either get rid of or accidentally damage or whatever the grade 3 for maximum. So you can grab that from drop, but at the same time, I think really this is more for the new one than anything else.
Yeah.
I will say though, we got in set 8 a grade 3 that's technically better. It searches out an order the same name as the one in your order zone. For a counterblast, it doesn't search drop, but it searches anything. And then also, if you have 2 cards with the same order, name in the order zone, it's a 10k plus instead of just a 5k. So, you know, there's technically a better grade 3. But yeah, you never know. Maybe the new ride line, this is going to be an amazing card.
Yeah.
All right. But with that being said, that is it for this week's leaks. If you're interested in any of the cards we just mentioned, go check out Triple Sleeve TCG.
You got great deals on singles, clan splits, and even cases, so go check out their website.
Link will be in the description. We're actually going to be opening up set 8 from them here in a month.
Yeah.
Anyway, for next week, Tuesday stream, oh boy, who would have thinked? We're actually getting, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There they went. There you are. They're going to be repeating whatever's going to be happening on January 9th on the big ass product stream. Yes, we will be covering. But also, they're going to be revealing 3 Dragon Empire cards for boosted set 9, Dragon Tree Invasion, related to crossover dress. Connor! Need you again, buddy. Heal up that arm. And then for the Thursday stream. Come on, scroll. There we go. Revealing the new Brandt ride line Avant Grade from Booster Set 9. Don't miss the gimmick of a new set order.
Yep.
So we're getting a new ride line and we're getting some crossover dress support. What do you think the new crossover dress support is going to be?
That's probably going to be an order for Trickstar that we saw in the PV.
True.
So hopefully countercharger.
No, fuck, they need it.
And probably another Varina form and another Paradragon.
I can see that. Where you're going to put those, I have no clue.
And we already know, I think, by looking at the set order, or the order set for the booster set, like the placement, that if we do get a new Varina, it's going to be a grade 2 Varina.
Yes.
So.
Potentially.
Yes.
So. For the new ride line, we already know what it's going to look like. I'm actually very curious to see what it actually even does. Because we had a with Garnif, with the great Stakea one, we knew he was going to make a new plant token. We have honestly no clue what Avantgrade's going to do.
Yeah. Other than like possibly abusing it from the drop, or sending it to drop for an effect because of this thing, I'd have no idea.
Yeah. So Vanguard next week, we'll see what happens. But with all that being actually said, there's not much else to talk about. There's no much bigger news. The only thing else happening is that in about less than a month, 3 weeks almost, Worlds is happening, and your boy is going.
Yeah.
Sadly, none of my friends are going.
I don't have the money, so or nor at that place.
I mean, you can always make a road trip out of it.
Not this time.
Yeah. Jokes aside, it'll be a fun time. I got a couple of people I've been rooming with. I'm going to see a lot of people that I've never seen before, so it's going to be a grand old time, and of course, we're going to vlog it.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, on Alex wants to add anything, we're going to close this episode out here.
I don't have anything to add, so.
There we go. If you like the episode, please leave a like, share it with your friends. Comment down below what you think the new Vanguard is going to do, or what the cross-diver dress support's going to do. Please be a countercharger. But if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell to get notified. Maybe even follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord. Like I said, Facebook, watch us over here at YouTube, or maybe even listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But all that being said, I've been Philip.
This is Alex.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Goodbye.
Woo! Good sir, you know as well as I do, they need a countercharger bad. Connor will sacrifice a goat for one.
You know, I'm going to laugh if it's not a countercharger and it just searches out a trick moon.
Oh, there we go. He jinxed it.